Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and this is Create Your Own Cozy. On this week's video, we are going to work on some things that you guys can do with your family in the upcoming holidays, some DIY Christmas ornaments, memories and experiences that you can pull out every year when you're decorating the tree. If you want to see what I do this week, stick around. So our family is all better. Thank you so much for your well wishes and your prayers, but we are completely on the mend. Everybody is back to school and we are in pre-Christmas holiday party mode. I just got back from my daughter's class party where I was wrapped up in green crepe paper like a Grinch. And it's just so interesting how you can be very, very ill one week and right back in the swing of things the next week. My husband had gum surgery this morning and the kids have a couple more days next week and then we are out for Christmas break. Guys, I have been telling you guys to slow down. So hopefully you choose to do that, not because of an illness, but because you realize that the days are long, but the years are short with these kiddos and these grandkids. So I wanted to encourage you today to look at some of these ornament ideas and possibly use them in your home this year. Maybe after you're all done eating on Christmas Day or the presents are all done being opened and you need an activity. Don't forget the creative side of your brain that needs some work. Don't forget, even if you don't have any kids, like adults need to create too. So consider grabbing some supplies or having something on hand and having an activity for your family that you can pull out every year to remember this year's holiday season. So I hope that you enjoyed today's projects and let's get started. So for project one, I wanted to show you guys a tradition that I have had. I like to make Christmas ornaments each year and usually get these little things from Hobby Lobby or from Michael's. And these were from 2015 where my kids were so little. And here's the thing, when you've got kids or grandkids, you guys know they grow so fast. So this was such a fun way to add fingerprints. My husband and I did Deers in Love. This was my oldest at the time. She used her fingerprints. And then my favorite of all, in 2015, when my youngest was 1, this is actually her little handprint. And guys, look how little it is. The fun thing is you can just add with a paint marker or even a Sharpie these little details that make it look so much more finished. And as long as you're picking the base of it, you're choosing a nice stylized ornament to remember your kids when they were little. It doesn't matter what the base is, and what a fun activity you can do with your family over Christmas to remember the little ones. Now, this I wanted to show you. It's an ornament holder that I made probably 6 years ago and decided I didn't like the stain look, so I'm just going to add some bead board from DIY over the top of it and then some big top on the top of that. The DIY paint always needs to be sealed with a top coat once the paint has dried. And I used this to let my projects dry this week, but it's also a great display piece. I made a video about it last year and I will include a link right now. Now, an exception to the DIY paint needing to be sealed is the DIY Cottage colors with Jamie Ray Vintage, and I am going to use these colors with a special appearance by this French millinery. This was something I freehanded, I think last year, and at the end of Christmas, I think I paid these were 90% off, and I've just been kind of sitting on them. They're little gnomes. They can either be little gnomes with hands and feet, or I'm going to decide to just make them a gnome with the beard. The hands and feet sometimes creep me out on gnomes, and I just like the big hat and beard and nose, and that's kind of easier for me. So I'm just kind of penciling in where I want the hats to go. My youngest favorite color is pink, my middle's favorite color is purple, and my oldest favorite color is blue, and that's kind of how we always color code things. So I am going to paint these little gnomes in honor of our family, the girls, and then mommy and daddy. So I'm just using the same color scheme on all of them so that they kind of all fit. All of them are going to be the Cottage colors, except for the French millinery, because there's not a purple in the Cottage colors. So I am just doing a couple coats of base coat for these hats. I'm gonna just kind of have fun with it. And this is an example of another project that you can do with the kids, or just even with adult families. Come on, why do I keep saying kids? Adults need to create as well. So if you have your family over, maybe have a little project when you're waiting for food or after you've eaten. You guys can all be creative and get some memories made and get your creative juices flowing. So I'm just painting on the hats. Now remember, the French millinery does need to be sealed if you're using a clay color. So I'm going to let you just watch me work on these. I really had fun with it. You don't need to have the shape of a gnome. You can always draw the shape as I did in that original one. I just freehanded, a triangle, a beard, and a nose. They are pretty easy to do and such cute little memories. Now, don't forget to date your ornaments and memories. And do you guys have a favorite gnome? So this next project, I got the wood rounds from Amazon. They were pre-cut, pre-drilled, and came with some string. I will look for the link and include that in the description below if you are interested. I know that my friend Sonnet from Sonnet's Garden Blooms goes out in her backyard and grabs some trees and cuts her own wood rounds, which is obviously cheaper. I had the intention of making a bunch of these to sell in my booth, but things happen. It's Christmas time and there's all kinds of stuff going on. So I'm just showing you how I'm kind of using them to make some really cute neutral type decor to kind of fill up a little tree. I really like how they turned out. So I'm taking, this is bead board that I'm putting in the center, and then I'm going to use little black dress on the other side, and because it is DIY paint, you do have to seal that. So I'm just making the centers white and black to kind of see what I can come up with. Also, when using Big Top, you need to stick with the same color because, as you can see, I moved over to the white and it turned a little black. So do one color at a time and then get a new brush because it will reactivate the paint and have like a sheen to it. Now you can put some fun decoupage paper over the white. I went and got this Twigs stamp from IOD, but any of the Christmas stamps, or you could look around any of the stamp sets and see if there's a cute little something to put in the middle of this. And if you do a bunch of them, it's such a great neutral look for a tree as kind of the cheap fillers so that your star ornaments can really shine. But I'm just using some permanent ink on here on the white, and on the black one I use some paint, which I need to go get some white ink really, because the ink really does work a lot easier for me. I've seen people use a brayer for the paint, which I don't happen to have. I just wanted to show you two different options for a very cute neutral tree filler. Now this next clip is showing, I tried to paint some gnomes in the center here and they were just too small, but I ended up doing 2 coats of this, but I wanted to show you, look at the coverage here. This is just bead board, DIY clay-based paint, and it covers so well that it's covering up what I'd deem a mistake and black paint. So I did end up doing 2 coats, and then I have a fresh canvas to try again. So I did grab the string that it came with, and I was okay with the little bit of color that it added, but it was very hard to get in. So what I ended up using is the back of a paintbrush to kind of push it through, but I was thinking like a crochet needle type thing, or even possibly some sturdy toothpicks could help you with this. But this was kind of the toughest part of the project, honestly, is getting the string through, and I wanted to show you my solution. So I wanted to do another version of this project. So here is the IOD Kindest Regards stamp that I like to use on everything. I am putting that Stays On permanent ink down, and for this project I decided to have the stamp down and then just take the wood round. I just kind of want the words in the background to add a nice layer in the back. I made sure I cleaned off the stamp right away because it is permanent ink, and then I used the Gray Skies color from the Cottage line, which is a nice gray blue, and it has a top coat built in, which is good for stamps so you don't have to go back over it. I just lightly put it on there. Actually, I kind of went a little thicker so that I wouldn't have to do a second coat, and stamped out the word Noel with using the IOD Typesetting stamp. And I think this is so cute. What do you guys think? The next ornaments I'm going to do, I got the bases at the Dollar Tree a while back and have used these before in another project. So I decided I want to try 3 different bases and see what I like the best. I used the Dark and Decrepit, which is a stain looking product from DIY, but it has a top coat built in, so it's a nice water cleanup, and I really like that. I went over 2 of the projects with the Dark and Decrepit just one time as a kind of a base stain. I'm going to keep one, just the stain color, and then after it dries, one of them I'm going to paint white over and then distress back and see if I like that finish. And then the third one I'm just going to paint white without anything underneath so I can see which one is my favorite. Now I'm going to wet distress this one right here that has the dark and decrepit underneath. The great thing about DIY paint is you can use a wet rag to distress without getting a bunch of sanding dust everywhere, which is great for indoor use. Then I am going to seal these with Big Top. You could use any type of sealer over these as long as you're not going to use a transfer. If you're going to use a transfer, use Big Top or polyacrylic, but you could use any type of wax to seal in the DIY paint as well. Dark wax, white wax, you really can do so many fun finishes. Next, I did splurge this season and get the new IOD Snowflake mold. I'm using air dry clay in here and some cornstarch so it doesn't stick. These are very delicate designs. I used the air dry clay in here. And one thing that I have learned with using molds is it's better to bend this mold over than to try to bend the actual clay. So I'm bending the mold. It's okay, I can take it. And I waited until the next day to paint these. I wish I would have done it while it was still wet, just because it would have been more pliable. But you know, schedules, it's December. So I just painted these white because I wanted them to have a nice white look to them. And I used Type-On wood glue to get them on here. Again, I wish this was a little more pliable so that all the edges could be against the wood. But it's an ornament. I think it's okay. I put a little bit too much glue on here, so I made sure I took some of that off because I didn't want it to seep out because of the two-tone look. And what do you guys think? There is the dark and decrepit and then the dark and decrepit with white painted over it. Which one's your favorite? So for my fifth and final project, I was taught by Kristen from Simply Joy Creations how to do this multimedia ornament the other night, and I wanted to do another one with you guys. So here is the base, just painted only white, and I am taking some sheet music that I have and going to just basically build layers and just get my creativity going. So I'm ripping the sides. I don't want any perfect cut sides. I'm going to decoupage this on with DIY's liquid patina. This is music paper. It is not a decoupage paper, but the liquid patina still worked. I just made sure that I put it on the underside, laid it flat, and then put a layer of the liquid patina over the top of it. One thing that Kristen did teach us while she was teaching us this multi-mixed media is to create layers. So I am going to use my handy dandy Kindest Regards stamp, just kind of put like this rose gold paint over the top of it, do a nice little stamp so that it's background, and then take that color and just kind of distress the sides and the back to kind of make this multicolor, add depth. The whole point of the multimedia world is that you're adding depth. Now, my friend Sylvia in the same group, hey Sylvia, she did this cute little angel. So while we did snowmen with Kristen, Sylvia inspired me to try an angel. So I'm going to use Skeleton Key because that is my little neutral Christmas color. You can do whatever colors you want. I'm going to build a body with the Skeleton Key. I'm going to use the vintage paint color from Cottage colors for the face. And then I'm just going to use regular DIY paint. It was at the bottom of the jar for the bead board and it was really thick. The fun thing about the clay-based paint is you can water it down and make it thinner, or you can have it really thick and make it look like a textured medium. So I did that with the wings. I drew on a little halo, added some gold to the wings. Really cute angel. guys think? Did you have a favorite project? I think mine was the mixed media angel. I just think it requires so many more parts of your brain to add layers and to do some extra stuff. So if you have ever tried mixed media, let me know in the comments below. And let me know if you're gonna try any of these with your family this year. I am excited to be well again and to be kind of winding down and getting ready to remember why we celebrate this season and how blessed that I am to have my family with me. Please enjoy this time with your family and friends and know that I am so thankful for you guys. Thank you so much for coming along today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
I'm so glad to be veteran, and I want you guys to thank the Lord that I'm better. And if you click that subscribe button, she'll know you like her videos and give her a big thumbs up.
That's so sweet. And why are we celebrating Christmas?
Because it's Jesus' birthday on Christmas.
That's right. Are you excited to spend some time with your family?
Yeah.
Oh, little kiddo.
Yeah.
Say bye.
Bye.